Hi guys. Hope everyone is having an amazing day. I had to jump on, and I had to bring on my dear friend Zilah, and I'm gonna bring her on right now. So I'm gonna add Zilah in. So this is not about me at all. Hi.
Hi.
All right, so I was really excited to do this. So just for those that are jumping on, say hi and where you're coming in from. This is part two of the Zilah and Scott show. I feel like we have our own show at this point. And you know, Zilah was celebrating a huge rank advancement in her business. And for those that did not see our first episode, Zilah is one of those individuals that I had the honor and pleasure of working with, teaching my LinkedIn system for her Isogenics business. And she took the bull by the horns the way that I do every day. And when her and I started working together just 8 weeks ago, she was a manager with only 4 months, actually only 2 months experience in the business at that point. And she's now 5 months into the products, 4 months into the business, and went from manager to crystal executive in 8 weeks. Yay. And she looks incredible on top of that. So
thanks.
I first want to say congratulations. I see what you're doing. I am so proud of you. You know, you deserve all of this. And you know, you and I have had multiple conversations over the last few weeks. So people are going to want to know, how did you do it? So let me just turn it to you. So let's do a little bit of let's go back 8 weeks ago when you and I started working together, where you were looking for a home, so to speak, for you to start building your business. And you heard me on a call and we connected, and you're like, this is it. You're the one I want to work with. Let's do this. So just share with everyone where you were before we started at manager, what some of the struggles were, and what's happened in the last 8 weeks.
Sure. First of all, thank you. Thanks for the congratulations and the shout out. So let's see. When I first saw you on our team call, at the time I was using Facebook as a platform, which a lot of us use, and it's been great. I didn't know much about LinkedIn at all. I had 109 contacts on LinkedIn at that time of our call. I had used it like 10 years ago when it first started. And I guess for me, what I was needing and what resonated with me when I talked to when you were on our team call, for me, just because of the status of my life right now, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I have a baby who's 14 months old. She's taking 3-hour naps in the day, so I'm home for 3 hours every day. I don't have the luxury of getting to go and shop around and meet people, in the store. And, I'm carting off my 2 older ones to camp, and then coming home and putting her down for a nap and cleaning up breakfast, and then going and picking up the older 2. And it is really hard for me to connect with somebody when I have all 3 kids. So even if I'm with my son at karate, I'm, juggling my other 2. So I have never really had these opportunities for these meaningful conversations. When you came onto our team call, I was about maybe 2 weeks from having been at a training, like a network marketing training for our company. And what they kept saying was, you need the numbers. You're not going to get anywhere with these, without the numbers. So if you talk to just 10 people a month, this is all you're going to get out of it. And so I sat there during that training and kept thinking to myself, how am I going to reach out? How am I going to get my 100 a month? How is that going to be possible for me to reach out to 100 people? And my Facebook has, 1,500 friends, but I'm limited, right? I can drip on people all day long. I can put my stuff out there, but I just have to sit back and wait for someone to decide they want to contact me. And I do reach out to some people on Facebook and kind of say, hey, I see how your life is going if you want to chat. But those are fewer and farther between. I needed a way that I could work from home, like physically in my home, and reach out to tons of people. And when I heard your call on LinkedIn, I felt like that could possibly work for me. And once we talked, it was clear that that was what was going to work for me. And it jived well with, did we say that word anymore?
We can say jive. We can say jive.
It made sense for just my experience in business and where I've been in my life. You know, years ago, I was a telemarketer. I've been in business. Like, to me, it makes sense. It's not for everybody, but if it's for you, then it's for you, and you've got to just take, like you say, the bull by the horns and go. So, and I've loved it. I mean, so since I've worked with you, so day one on that call, I had 109 connections on LinkedIn. I now have, I think it's 1,500, and it's like every day, more and more just keep coming in. And then, you know, you've been so amazing. You know, for those of you who are watching and just kind of curious, what does Scott do? He shows you, one, how to make these connections on LinkedIn, two, what your reach out to them will be, whether, you know, if it's an email, and how you're going to reach out to them. And he'll talk through like what makes sense for you in your life. So if you're a lawyer, or if you are, you know, a gym owner, you're going to have different kinds of emails. So mine come from a different perspective as an educator or a former educator. So then not only did he talk me through, like, here's how you email somebody, here's how you reach out to them, here's how you set up a call, and then now here's what you say on the call, and now here's how you close the call. And so I've gone through that. I have to say that I'm in a position where I wish I had two people working under me, just sitting and going through my emails. I have more emails and more connections. I mean, I wake up every day with, you know, 10 or 15 people who've responded to my LinkedIn emails. Sure, I can, you know, let's set up a call. I mean, it's like that fast. It's like, yes, let's set up a call. And my calls are, you know, 10 minutes. So I'm not like not wasting. But, you know, when I have a Facebook call, it goes on for an hour sometimes, and then there's still not a close, because this is a different scenario. I'm not really reaching out to, I mean, product users, but I'm looking for business builders.
It's the art. It's the art of qualifying the right person for your time. So there's that tug of war that a lot of people get into when they're, you know, and you know, I shared my experience with your team and with you, you know, and I still experience that with someone from Facebook. You know, the cost, and, you know, can I drink shakes for the rest of my life? And, you know, why does it have to be auto shipped?
Yeah.
And then when you go to this other side, this caliber, and we're not sitting here and saying that, you know, people on Facebook suck. We're not saying that.
No, it started my business.
Yeah, people just have it's about the intentions of why people are on social media. So the intent of someone on Facebook and Instagram is different from the intent of someone on LinkedIn. And that's the picture that I painted for you. Exactly.
And it's the caliber that makes sense for me, from my background and where I come from and the time I have, and just all of it. It's a perfectly beautiful package for me. And I'm connecting with people that it makes sense that I'm connecting with them. You know, these aren't just random people I should be friends with. Like, there are some people that I've connected with on LinkedIn. I'm like, we should meet we should be friends, whether this turns into anything or not, because they are, you know, I think you've said it a lot in your LinkedIn training videos. You're looking for people who are just exactly like you. And that's what I'm finding. I mean, some of them are men, some of them are women, some of them are at different stages of their life. You know, some are parents and not, but their business acumen, what their goals and their dreams and their hopes are very similar to mine. So when I reach out to them for a business opportunity, they're all ears. And if they're not, I have a 4-minute phone call and done, and I can just put a little mark by them and decide to either follow up or not. But I don't have to sit and keep dripping and be like, we're having a promotion this week and I can get you in for, and that's great. It's just not going to build my business from manager to crystal executive in 8 weeks.
You don't want something at a discount. So why would you want to bring someone into a business thinking they're getting a deal?
Right.
So,
and those are the hardest ones that I've ever had to work with anyway. The ones
right,
that I've had to
right.
like,
And then
pull
you're like,
them in,
oh,
just please
send
sign up.
your stuff back. Just send your stuff back.
Right.
So here's the big thing. So just to let everyone know, Zilah, in her first week of applying what I taught her, had 42 calls, had her first enrollment, but most importantly, you have gone from manager to Crystal executive in 8 weeks.
Yay.
So how important has it been applying and implementing LinkedIn into your strategy in creating that jump from manager to Crystal executive?
Sure. I mean, it's been incredibly important as far as, I wake up every day with a purpose. I don't feel like I'm wasting time and just waiting around or putting a post out there and just hoping someone, like, I have 3 hours every day where I can actively make this happen. I can email people. I can make phone calls. I have it set up. So this day is my reach out to people day. I try to make my calls on a certain day, but I make, if I need to add that in, I do. I can do 10 calls a day, 15 calls a day. And when that's happening, exactly what everybody will learn from network marketing, it's the numbers. So if I get 15 calls a day, guess what that means is going to come out of that. You're going to get more enrolls, more people who want to build the business with you. And that's a whole different experience. That takes it to another level. So I'm excited, for this next few months coming ahead.
So let's think about this. So 8 new consultants is $800. Crystal director bonus is $750. And
1,000.
1,000. And no, Crystal director $750.
Oh,
right?
I didn't get Crystal director. If I'm just going to sit here and be honest with y'all, I didn't get Crystal director.
Okay, so
I missed that bonus, but I was not going to let Crystal executive go by.
So 8 new consultants plus the Crystal executive bonus. So $1,800 return. I mean, that doesn't even include cycles. That doesn't even include product introductory bonus. So now we're talking in the $2,000 to $3,000 range just in the last 8 weeks of applying this. So, do you feel the investment that you made in learning this in your business was worth it?
Yes, and not just financially. I mean, if you're somebody who needs to look at the numbers, there you go. Scott just laid it out for you. But for me, depending on where you are in your life, you know how much time you have to build your business. If you're in this and your goal is that in 10 years, this is where you're going to meet. My goals are a little different. I have a goal of 2020, the year January of 2020. I have an expectation of where I'm going to be, and it's big, and it's huge. And I can't get there by taking my time to learn all these strategies. You could probably go online and Google stuff and get some ideas and play around and look at what the experts are doing. And you can do the same thing on Facebook and Instagram and all the other YouTube and whatnot. But there are also professionals in these platforms who have spent the time and their money and their time, learning how to train people on what's worked. And Scott's done that. Scott has already done all of the dirty work. So I was able to learn in like 2 or 3 weeks what I would have had, what somebody might take 6 months to learn. I just didn't have 6 months. So if you've got the time and you've got, your plans are for something big to happen in 10 years, then fine. Take time, read some Google pages, read some articles, watch a few YouTube videos, do that if that's what you want. But if you want results next week, get someone like Scott who's going to just say, here's what you do, here's what it should look like, here's what you say, here's what the phone call you're going to make, and here's how you close them, and I'll talk to you in 7 days and you tell me how it's going. I mean, when we talked, it was, right? I mean, each time during our training, it was like I'd already hit something else, another level. So I was like, okay, now I'm already getting, I have 40 calls, Scott. What do I do? He was able to talk me through what to do next. Well, I mean, I was like, I've run out of time. I don't have enough time. What do I do? Like, is this bad? No, it's not bad. You've got an incredible problem.
I mean, Zilah, that's every network marketer's dream. I have no time to keep up with all of the people that want to talk with me. That's
exactly.
So here's the thing. We talked about this a few weeks ago when we did the last call. You know, for those people that are literally standing on top of that fence and they're looking down and, you know, they're looking back over their shoulder and there's Facebook and Instagram and everything else. And then right in front of them is LinkedIn, which is this uncharted territory of things they don't know. And the idea of, number one, you reaching out to people, but two, leading with the opportunity is just so foreign to people.
So, yeah.
So now being like you jumping on the other side of that fence and now you taking the bull by the horns and the reins and you're the one that's reaching out now and you're the one that is actually presenting the opportunity first that starts with a product experience. So everyone's saying yes for the same reason, which is the products.
Right.
You're just planting the seed of the business right away. How much has that changed your business?
Well, incredibly. I mean, the people that I have on from LinkedIn, you know, are like their product. I can tell you that they're coming into it with a different experience, so they're not whining and crying and complaining too much about the experience with the upfront. They're just like, all right, you know, get me through. Like, what do I do? Day one, okay, my box is here. They were so
right. The Ionix is gross. I have diarrhea. I just threw up. Am I supposed to feel this way?
I mean, they like shared a couple of things with me just to make sure everything was okay. But they were like, and okay, and now, you know, and it was like before their box even came, I could send them all of the tools from my company. Am I saying the company name?
You could say Isagenix.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were like.
It's in here.
You know, so before even their box came, like the day they signed on, I was already sending them the Isagenix business tools. That's a whole different experience than sending them the cleanse day schedule. You know, so I'm sending them the tools and saying, here's what we're going to do. We're going to text, you know, 5 of your friends and family members. We're going to email this and this and this. Now that's a much different experience, or that's a much different approach.
Let me know, Zilah, let me know when you're ready to start sharing. Okay.
Yeah.
These people are like, all right, what's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step?
Exactly. And so it's not like this awkward, like, so, you know, if you have a good experience, we can call 2 of your friends or whatever. You know, I was able to send them the comp plan. You know, one of the first connections that they had for me after our first phone call, one of the first things I sent out to them was the comp plan or how this is going to be wealth creation. Again, just a much different approach rather than saying like, so you might feel a little nauseous, which is fine. I'm so happy with that. And listen, for some people, LinkedIn is just not going to be the place for them. It's not their comfort zone. Okay, that's fine. But if you're out there just like, how can I make the most of my time? How can I get more people to call? How can I help build my business? You know, if you've got tons of people under you who are product users, so you're cycling, that's great, but you're not able to build up your rank. You're not able to get to executive and beyond. This is one of the fabulous ways to do it, you know, or you just need to change your approach, I guess, on Facebook or LinkedIn and say, I'm looking for business builders. Again, it's just going to be a different or a longer road. As I said, I sat there in that training with David Wood and said, I need to figure out how to get numbers and I need to be able to do it fast. So how can I do that while I'm at home most of my day or just not out and about with people? You know, my life is just I'm just in a different phase of life right now. In a couple of years when all my kids are at school, I'll get to be that belly to belly person and then I'll have a different approach. I'll still probably always have LinkedIn, but this is what's working for me today. And that's what I'm going to have. So
you said 2 things really interesting that a lot of people end up doing. They make the Isagenix business portion, I call it the quote unquote, oh, by the way.
Which is what I did for the first 2.5 months.
Oh, I did too. And for me, now my oh by the way is, oh by the way, not only are you going to feel great, like it's you can stay on these products, but my initial conversation is about this amazing opportunity that this company provides for us. the second thing you said was, you know, LinkedIn might not be their comfort zone. And this is what David Wood teaches us.
Right.
There's the comfort zone, and then there's the
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable zone. And he says every time you go to a UIA or any one of his amplified trainings, that uncomfortable zone where you're pushing yourself to do something out of that comfort zone, that is where the magic happens. So
Right.
I wasn't surprised at the results that you got, because when you came to me and when we had our first conversation, you're like, I'm ready. Show me exactly what to do. Tell me how to do it. I'm ready. And when you have someone with that mindset that is not even thinking about if they're uncomfortable or not, they just want to go, 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 then you're going to get the return that you're looking for.
Right.
So Zilah, you know, there's people that are going to watch this later and they're on here now. And, you know, everyone sometimes gets stuck on, you know, how do I get past just being a cleanse coach? And, you know, how can I turn more, you know, consultants, and how can I have more conversations? I don't have the time to do it like other people do. What can you tell them? Like, if you had to pick the number one reason why you should get on LinkedIn after learning what I have taught you, what would that number one reason be?
The numbers. I'm able to talk. I mean, I should show you this list I have. I don't think I'm exaggerating. I think I have like 89 people just waiting for me to set up a time to call. They've already emailed me and said, sure, I'd love to hop on a call with you. Great. Do you have time next week? And it's like, I to be honest, I put like 2 weeks break on LinkedIn. Like, I just couldn't even send out emails because the response was so much that I said, well, I've got to just wait. I just need to take a break. I've got celebration coming up, and then next week I can come right back and respond to all of these people. So the numbers, if you have heard all of these trainings, if you've been in network marketing training and someone says, look at the numbers, as long as you're speaking to people, and the numbers, and then it's just, my time isn't, it's not that anything's wasted, but I know within 2 minutes, and I'm getting to the point of LinkedIn where I can even be a little bit more picky and particular about who I decide to connect with now. Like before, when I first started with you, Scott, I just like blasted everybody and was like, every person I connected with, can I talk? And then I started realizing, and I had I messed up tons of phone calls and whatever, but, and got uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. But now that I've had enough conversations through LinkedIn, now I've got this luxury of even being a little bit picky about who I want to connect with. Like, I've had some people that I've connected with, and then when I've taken a little bit more time to look through their profile, something just tells me that maybe they're not the right connection for me. They'll be good for somebody else, but they're not going to mesh well with what I'm trying to build. And that is also a luxury, right? To be able to say, not exactly. Like, I can be so down to the nitty gritty and say, you're good, and decide to talk to just them, and then have the phone call. And then if out of those 10 people, 1 or 2 decide to join in, then I'm doing great.
So let's talk about one last thing. So money aside, because everyone, there's monetary objections to even sign up for Isagenix, but obviously I don't consider this an expense. I consider what I teach you and amongst other people is an investment.
Right.
So, and people also say, well, I'm busy. I have an event coming up, celebrations around, like, everyone is waiting for that one magical moment or the right time. So for the person that's watching this, listening to this, or whatever it is that's on the fence, and they're frustrated in their business, they don't have the numbers, they don't have the right kind of people in their business, they're just enrolling product users. What's the last piece of advice you can give them in what they can take away from something that you've learned?
Well, I feel like all of us, if you go through all of our Isagenix posts on Facebook and whatever, I don't know how many times I've seen somebody write, I only wish I'd started sooner. with Isogenic, right? Just the product or the business experience. I see this all the time. We talk about, I wish I had started sooner, but thank goodness I finally jumped off the fence and bought my first box. It's the same thing with LinkedIn. It's the same thing, you know, we pay for our trainings. When you go to University in Action, you're paying for that. We've all paid for these trainings, and we're sitting in there with, you know, 500 people or something, and you're going to get training, but and you're going to pay a little bit more when it's individual, one-on-one, because now you can tailor it to exactly what you need. But I just recently actually just put up a Facebook post. Like, you have to invest in yourself if you want to grow. You have to invest in your health, right? So someone has to pay for their Isogenics if they want to see change. You have to invest in your business if you want to see change. You know, I come from a little bit of a different background. I was a business owner, so I understand that, and I've experienced that. But for someone who's not exactly been in a business perspective, you know, you have to look at Isogenics. If you want this to be your income, it's a business. And when you start treating it as a business and really understanding everything that has to go into making a business happen, right? You have to put in hours, you have to put in training for yourself, for the people underneath you. You know, you're now in charge. And so if you're on the fence about LinkedIn, I mean, just get off the fence, right? There's going to be a day where you're going to be like, oh, if only I'd started sooner. If only I'd started sooner. So just start. It doesn't take long to get going. If you take everything that Scott says, this is what same thing I say about Isogenics. People are like, well, how'd you get such great results with Isogenics? Because I followed everything to a T. Same thing with Scott. If you do it, follow everything that he says to a T. Do it. Do it. Don't complain. Don't say, well, I'm a little bit nervous to call. Just do it. Do the cleanse. Follow Scott. I don't know. This is just the advice I'm going to give for everything now.
This
just
is great.
Follow everything to a T. Someone else knows what to do. They're telling you what to do. Do it. And then enjoy the results, the fruits of your labor that come from it. And listen, some of these people that I have on LinkedIn, they said no today, but now I've got this new list. I'm calling them my not yets. They're just not yet, because there are people who they don't have to watch me, right? I don't have to drip on them or do anything special from LinkedIn, but I can reach back out to them and say, how are things financially going for you?
Absolutely.
And so so it's not like someone's off of your list. Like, whereas with Facebook, if somebody's off your list, you know, they've had the conversation, they know how much it costs. I mean, you can sit and just wait for them, I guess, to be ready, but it's just different with LinkedIn. And yeah, if it's uncomfortable for you, then go for it. It probably means that it's going to be really good for you.
Yeah. So just before we wrap up, just to let everybody know on here, Zilah has 6 times her investment that she made with LinkedIn. 6 times her investment she's already made back, and it's only been in 8 weeks. She's 6 times her investment. So imagine if you guys could 6 times your business right now, where would it be?
Right.
So Zilah, I just
for anybody, I just have to say too, for anybody who's seeing you like from Isogenics, I don't know what other people's compensation plans are, but working with Scott is really just enrolling, you know, 2 to 5 value pack users. I mean, depending on what system you sign up with Scott, but 2 to 5, like, and you are gonna get that, like, you just are. And so then, okay, done. So call that the expense, and then move on, and then keep enjoying what comes out of it. I mean, this is nothing. And if you're out there paying for training that's, you know, $20 training, you know, from some person on YouTube, I mean, you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for, I guess. I have written down Scott's word for word, and I read the words off the page on the phone calls. Now I'm getting more comfortable, but in the beginning I did, and I couldn't get over how quickly people were, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Like, I'm in. I was like, wait, what? the first 2 people who were like, yeah, no, I'm excited, I'm in. I was like, oh, well, that was easy. That was easy.
And it really could be, it could be that easy for everyone, just as you know.
Yeah.
You hear it.
Yeah, I'm nobody special, that's for sure.
Well, no, I mean, none of us are.
I'm not like,
no,
I mean,
success
like,
leaves
I'm a
clues.
normal person. Like, anybody could do what I'm doing. Anyone can do what I'm doing because I didn't do it. I literally sat and recorded the words that Scott said and took his email. I mean, I kind of adjusted for my tone of voice, but he has it all laid out. And so I just took exactly what, what we had talked about in our trainings. I recorded the trainings that Scott and I had so I could rewind and re-listen and rewind and re-listen and write down. And once I did that, and we talked it through, from my perspective, that was what was really nice. Scott didn't talk about it like, he knows I'm not a gym owner. Scott's a previous gym owner. He said, okay, from a teacher's perspective, here's what you might say. Or he talked to me through my story and how we would fine tune it and make it sound nice for the phone call. So,
something you just
sorry,
said.
I'm just going on and on. I've loved working.
Well, no. Something people may not know this. You have recordings of your personalized one-on-one sessions to always go back on and review. So, I use them all the time. Value in that, this isn't something that expires. You get the recordings. You can go back and go over and over and over again. So there's no way not to succeed with this. So, I can't believe it's been 30 minutes, but it has. And we can keep going on and on. But I first want to say I'm just so grateful for you, just for being open and being coachable and seeing the value in what I bring into you. But most importantly, the dedication, and you're putting your nose to the ground, and it just shows from where you've gone in the last 8 weeks that success does leave clues. And I'm just so proud of you. I just have such love and such gratitude for you and your work ethic. This is just the beginning for you. So, as always, thank you for jumping on here with me and edifying me and sharing yourself with everyone. And I can't wait to see you in Nashville and give you a big hug.
Thank you. Oh, yay, you're there. Good. I can't wait to see you too. And all of the same feels back to you. I appreciate also your energy and your spirit that you put in, to me, it felt very personalized. It was personalized, but I felt like you understand me. And, I love catching up with your Facebook Lives. And I really appreciate the energy and the spirit that you put towards helping others grow their business, because you could have kept this to yourself. And I really appreciate you sharing the gift of it, because it's changing my life. And so for that, I thank you. I'm so grateful to know you. And I can't wait to hug you in Nashville.
Awesome. So listen, safe travels there. Keep up the great job.
Yes.
And thank you as always for taking the time. Go continue celebrating. You deserve it. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thanks. See ya.
Bye, Zilah.
Bye, everyone.